I know I'm not the only one that thinks that this is the craziest time of year to be a mom. There's just so much going on with like school and holiday parties and the kids and buying gifts and working and taking care of yourself and your house and like also trying to make it magical. It's just crazy. So finding time to focus on yourself feels pretty impossible in this season. But what if I told you that in just 12 weeks, you could feel happier, healthier, more grounded, and just like a general better version of yourself without adding any extra stress to your life? I know it sounds hard to believe, but I am telling you, it's true. If you're new here, my name is Bailey. I'm a certified personal trainer, wellness coach, pre-postnatal specialist, certified nutritionist, and of course, most importantly, I'm a mom. I create realistic, holistic wellness type content. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. Recently, I have created the ultimate 12-week program specifically designed for busy moms who have very little time to spend on themselves, but want to kickstart the new year as a happier, healthier version of themselves. I'm going to dig into the nitty-gritty and tell you all about this program and why I believe it works and why I think you should do it. So please stick around to the end of this video so you get all the details. And I have a free guide that will walk you through the 12 weeks that you can download at the end of this video. Okay, so if you're watching this in real time, you know that this is the time of year that most people kind of throw in the towel when it comes to wellness. There's so much going on in terms of like holiday parties and just like stress and travel and whatever else. It's really easy to lose total sight of any wellness goals that you might have had throughout the year. People also start thinking about their New Year's resolutions around this time. And so it's kind of easy to play this mental game with yourself where you're like, whatever, December like doesn't count. I'm just going to get to the new year. I'm going to be a new me. I'm going to have this great resolution. I'm going to kickstart a whole new plan. And lo and behold, you get around to like mid-January, maybe end of January if you're lucky, and you've already fallen off the bandwagon. I'm not really a believer in New Year's resolutions, not because I think it's bad to have a goal. I obviously think it's great to have goals, and part of my entire company is built around helping moms reach their goals. But I just think a year is way too long to plan for something, really for anyone, but especially in motherhood. 12 months is so long. I mean, you can grow an entire human in less than that. So trying to set a goal for that period of time just doesn't feel realistic to me, especially for moms. I read a book this past year called The 12-Week Year. I'll link it down below if you're interested. And it's so interesting because it talks all about how breaking your year into 12-week chunks helps you actually achieve so much more throughout the year. It gives you more focus, it gives you more clarity, and it just helps you stick to your goals instead of creating some big, huge plan that you lose sight of within like 2 weeks of doing it. I'm not going to go into all the details of that book because that's the point of reading the book, and I highly recommend it. So definitely look into it if you're interested. But that was kind of my mental framework as I was thinking about what kind of resource I could provide to my audience, to the women that I work with, that might help them kickstart the new year in just a more meaningful way than just setting a New Year's resolution. 12 weeks is a very realistic chunk of time. It's enough time that you can actually see progress in something, but not so much time that it's overwhelming and you just don't even want to start. Kind of like a trimester, if you think about it. If you think about like a trimester of pregnancy, it can feel like a very long time, but it's also a pretty short time that you can get a lot done in if you put your mind to it. The other thing I love about a 12-week plan is it gives you enough flexibility that instead of trying to tackle everything at once, you're able to break your goal down into smaller chunks, which makes it a lot easier to achieve them and to like work towards those goals during the 12-week period. I'm a big believer in small steps that are realistic and manageable, and a 12-week program allows you to implement those small steps in the beginning without like overwhelming yourself or biting up more than you can chew, and then slowly build on them over time. But here's the kicker. I don't think you should wait till January to start your 12-week program. If you're watching this in real time, it's December, mid-December. I created this plan so that you could start it now and you could actually roll into the new year already in your new habits and already in that season of building on those wellness goals and whatever it is that you decide is important to you for those 12 weeks, instead of just like throwing in the towel and kind of starting from like negative January 1st. But whenever you decide to start it, I really believe that 12 weeks is the perfect amount of time for busy moms who want to make changes in their lives without having tons and tons of free personal time to actually do it. So let's talk about what these 12 weeks will actually cover. The 12 weeks are broken into 3 phases, and each of the phases focuses on building small, sustainable habits in 4 key areas of your life. So those areas are your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your personal growth, and your relationships. So my view of wellness is that it's holistic. It's not just fitness and nutrition, although that is a component of it, but it's also your mind. It's also your community. It's also your relationships. I think if you're not approaching wellness with that holistic view in mind, I think you're really missing the mark, and we don't want to do that. So this 12-week program is based on those 4 key areas so that you can really maintain that well-rounded view of wellness and allowing you to improve in different areas of your life. I've designed the plan to be very informative, but not overly restrictive, because your life and your goals are different than my life and my goals. And so having a plan that can flex with what you need and what you desire in this season of life is crucial. If you have a newborn at home, getting access to like 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night is probably not realistic. So that would not be something I would put in your plan. It doesn't mean there aren't other areas of wellness that you can focus on, but that's not one. So the plan is designed so that you can kind of flex and make it personalized for you and your goals. I had added suggested focus areas in each of the phases, but again, take what you need, leave the rest, sub in other things as needed. The whole point of this is your wellness, not my wellness. So that's the idea. Okay, so phase 1. The first phase of the program is all about building the foundation. So this is creating small, actionable habits that you can repeat throughout your daily life in those 4 key areas. Here's what you're gonna do. So for physical health, we're talking about like really small, like a 10-minute walk, or adding in a stretch session before bed, or adding in maybe a step goal for your overall week. So in the area of physical health, you're going to pick one small thing that you can do on a daily basis and work toward that goal during that phase, or during those 4 weeks. In the area of mental well-being, we're going to focus on gratitude. So this first phase is all about like 5 to 10 minutes a day to journal, to meditate, to pray, whatever it is for you, all about the things that you're grateful for. It's a very small thing. It's 5 minutes every day, but it's supporting your mental well-being, and those small things are going to add up over time. Like I said, it's just laying the foundation. So that's physical and mental. For personal growth, you're going to pick one thing that you want to focus on related to your personal growth. So maybe this is waking up 15 minutes earlier each day. Maybe it's reading a specific book that you want to do. Maybe it's learning a new skill. You've got 4 weeks to accomplish it. So pick something relatively small and realistic, but something that you're doing just for you and your personal growth, and break that into teeny tiny little chunks that you can work towards each day. The last area is relational health. So in this foundation building phase, you're just going to focus on connecting with those around you. It's a very easy time of year to get super busy and bogged down with like your own life and your own world. But by focusing on connecting with just one person a week, whether it's a family member or a friend or whatever else, it can kind of help rebuild that muscle and remind you the importance of moving. So that's phase 1. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's just about building the foundation and getting in the habit of taking small chunks out of your day to focus on you and your wellness. Phase 2, which is weeks 5 to 8 of the program, is all about growth. So we're building on that foundation that you created. In the area of physical health, we're going to just step it up a little. We're going to up the ante on our physical health. So whether that's increasing your weights in your workout, or maybe adding an additional workout to the week, so you're up to like 4 workouts a week. Or it can be something more in line with your sleep habits or your nutrition. You're going to pick one thing that's elevated above those foundations that you set, but is still allowing you to grow and invest in the area of your physical health. For our mental well-being, we are expanding on that 5 to 10 minutes of gratitude and focusing on building in more mindfulness practices. So maybe that's adding in a 5-minute meditation, or maybe that's adding in 5 minutes of prayer or solitude, just something in addition to your gratitude practice that will give you a little bit of time to just recenter, ground yourself, get a little perspective, and just continue to build the muscle of focusing on your mental health on a daily basis. Well, that's something that is easy to do as a busy mom. In the area of personal growth, you've set this goal for yourself in the foundation. So you've picked one thing that you want to start doing in your foundation. Now, in the growth phase, we're going to build upon that by tackling something that you've been putting off for a long time. This is something I am notoriously bad at. I am so good at deprioritizing stuff in my life because I'm busy and I just have other things to do. There are so many things like, organizing a specific area in my house, or volunteering at a place local to my community, or things like that I want to do, but I just keep putting it off and deprioritizing it. So in the growth phase, we're going to take that one thing, whatever that one thing is for you, and we're going to execute on it. We've got 4 weeks to do it. So it's long enough that it's realistic, but a short enough time that you can't put it off for too long. And then in relational health, the suggested goal for the growth phase is to host some sort of gathering, whether it's like having friends over for coffee, or having your in-laws over for dinner, or doing a family game night, just something that helps you to build and foster your relationships a little bit more in a way that's unplugged, like tech is not present, and just allowing you to exercise that host muscle a little bit, even if it's just for your immediate family. The growth phase is really where the magic starts to happen, because if you've gone 4 weeks of building a foundation of taking care of yourself in these 4 areas, then the next 4 weeks is really just like feeling that in. It's now become a habit, and you're just getting to expand a little bit. So I feel like the growth phase is where things start to take a turn, because it's like, oh, I can do this. So these are small, manageable things, and I'm doing it, and look how much better I'm feeling. And that leads us into phase 3, which is locking it all in. Phase 3 is our transformation phase. So this is the last 4 weeks, weeks 9 to 12 of the program. And it's where we're really going to lock this stuff in for the long haul. So in the area of physical health, we're going to set a goal. Maybe it's running a 5K, maybe it's mastering a specific yoga pose that you've never been able to do. Maybe it's aiming for 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night to recharge. Maybe it's getting your blood sugar down. Maybe you're going to get some blood work done and you're going to aim to get your A1C levels down. Whatever it is for you, I want you to set a goal that's like a little bit ambitious to the point where it feels a little scary, but use the last 2 months of work as momentum towards that goal. Again, this is where we're locking things in. So it's getting a little bit more serious, but you've had an entire month to accomplish it. So you got it. In the area of mental well-being in this last program, we're doing daily affirmation. Now, I've not always been a big believer in daily affirmation because it felt a little like woo-woo for me, but I do believe in the power of what we say to ourselves. And for many of us women and mothers, it's very easy to constantly have a lot of negative self-talk going. So you've kind of built in this practice now through the program of like gratitude. You found some mindfulness practices that are working for you. This phase is, again, it's all about locking in. So it's helping us develop better habits when it comes to the way that we think about things, and specifically the way that we think about ourselves. So daily affirmations are a great way to combat some of that negative self-talk and just start your day in like a really positive mood. As a side note, if you have little kids, the Snoop Dogg song called Affirmation is a freaking banger. I turn that on when I'm taking my daughter to daycare easily twice a week, and it puts us both in a great mood. So highly recommend. I'm not saying that's what you should use for your daily affirmations, but if that works for you, do it. Okay, the next area is personal growth. In this transformation phase, when it comes to personal growth, I want you to create a vision board. Maybe it's physical, maybe it's something you're actually doing, cutting out pictures, putting it on a pin board, whatever. Maybe it's virtual, it's all on Pinterest, whatever works for you. But creating a vision board for the rest of your year. Again, this phase is about carrying us through past program, beyond the 12 weeks and into just the rest of our lives. And so having a clear vision of what you want for your life and your family and the rest of your year can be so helpful in actually achieving that thing. It allows you to think about the things that you've done during the program and like, what do you want to keep building on? What do you want to keep doing? Put that into your vision casting moment and then keep it somewhere visible so that you're looking at it for the rest of the year, and it'll help keep you motivated and on track. The last area is relational health. And so for this, again, if we're thinking long-term here, it's all about building your support system. If you are a mom, you need a support system. I don't care who you are. I don't care what that support system looks like. Motherhood is challenging. It's beautiful. I love it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But man, oh man, does it humble you if you're someone who's used to trying to do things all by yourself. You really need a support system. And so connecting with others, hosting little gatherings, like those are wonderful ways to, again, build momentum in this area. But the goal for this last transformation phase is to lock in what that support system is going to look like. So maybe you've got a group chat that you've started. Maybe you've joined like a mom's group in your neighborhood, or you've got some sort of accountability group for other women that are interested in running. I don't know what it looks like for you, but that's what the goal of the last phase is in the relational health category, is just figuring out your support system and making it a regular part of your life to check in with them and really leverage what that support system can offer you and your family. And in turn, getting it back, you're a support system for other people too. That's the idea. We're all in this together. And at the end of the program, I want you to celebrate your wins, whether that's just talking about them out loud with someone that you care about, or maybe you treat yourself to like a self-care spa day or something. Like, I want you to celebrate the fact that you invested 12 weeks in your well-being and ideally have built all these great new habits and new rhythms into your lifestyle that allow you to care for yourself as a whole human without having, in small ways that don't take up a ton of time, so you're not neglecting all the other aspects of your life and your responsibilities, but you're also not neglecting yourself entirely, which is something that as moms we are very quick to do. So at the end of the program, you get to decide what your finish line looks like and what your celebration is going to look like. For me, it's going to be a massage because that is a thing to do. And I am greatly looking forward to it. It's like a reward for all of your hard work over the last 12 weeks. So drop in the comments below what your reward would be, because I'm very interested to hear what others thought there. Again, I have a download that walks you through this program entirely. It has weekly trackers. It has like a sample workout. It has a bunch of sample recipes in there. It's everything you need. It's totally free for this 12-week guide to help support you through the process. At any point, you're like, I don't really remember what I was supposed to do for week 4 of this program in this area. Like, it's all in the guide. So don't butt it. Again, the purpose of this and everything I do is helping you remember that it's all about progress and not perfection. That's a very overused phrase, but it's so true, especially in the area of wellness, choice when it comes to motherhood. I designed this program with moms in mind because so many women that I work with, that I talk to, that I'm friends with, and even myself at many times neglect their well-being. And I don't want us to roll into 2025 with that same mentality. It's not healthy, it's not good for us, and it's not good for our families at the end of the day because they're not getting the best version of mom, of wife, of partner, whatever, so that they can in our lives. So the program is not designed to add any of that stress to your plate. It's designed to give you small but meaningful ways to improve your life, to improve your well-being, and to focus on yourself again. As I mentioned, I do believe that wellness is a holistic journey. It's not just about your physical health. It's also about your mental health and your emotional health and your relational health. And if you can learn how to invest in all of those areas at the same time, you are going to be leaps and bounds ahead of the game than someone who just decided, you know what, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. My New Year's resolution. I say this literally all the time, but small, sustainable steps lead to really big changes. I'm living proof of this. I adopted this mindset, took the idea of small steps, did it slowly over time, and was able to lose 45 pounds of baby weight postpartum in like 4.5 months. That's not something I say to brag. It's just to prove the theory that like you don't have to do some crazy life overhaul to see really meaningful change in your life in many different areas. If you're interested in my weight loss journey and you want to learn more about how I did that, I will link that video here. But the idea is that I want you to leave this feeling empowered, not overwhelmed. I want you to leave this feeling like, yes, there's a lot I want to change about my life, but I can do it. I just have to do it in small ways every single day. So if you're ready to finally focus on you, I would love for you to join me in this 12-week challenge. Download the free guide below, print it out or save it on a computer, whatever works for you. It's got, like I said, weekly planners. It's got all the trackers you need. It's got a little goal for every single week in your focus area, like all right there for you. And maybe invite a friend to do it with you. I think it'd be really fun to do this as a community or with someone else who can help hold you accountable. Again, I would recommend starting now because it's easy to put things off. It's easy to put your wellness off. Life is always good. It's just as busy in January. It's just busy in different ways. So start today is my encouragement. And I'd love to do this together. I think it'd be so fun to like encourage each other on in our 12-week journey. So let me know what you think. And if you're into this kind of like realistic, holistic wellness in the context of motherhood stuff, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. I post new videos every week. Definitely like this video if you enjoyed it and let me know what you'd like to see more of. I'm so grateful that you're here and that you watched this, and I will see you in my next video.